Hello, my dear friends. Today, I'm honored to announce the opening of a new course targeted at your developing and mastering writing skills, creative writing skills. Well, it's something different from what you've got accustomed doing. Um, it's something which deals with creativity. In other words, you are likely to become authors of some bestsellers. I'm not joking saying that, having chosen this word, bestsellers, right? Because finally, some right people may pay their attention to your personality through the fruits of your thinking. And actually, this is the main target of the course again. Well, you will be doing a lot of exercises throughout our classes, and each of them is designed to um, perhaps to wake up, to awaken, let's say, your ability to think up interesting, captivating stories. It's not necessarily to be long stories. It can be short stories, it can be essays, it can be scientific pieces of work, it can be cartoon plots, it can be plots for some kind of movies maybe, or serials, who knows, soap operas. It can be different types of writing, but the main idea is that you create something to attract as many prospective readers as possible. And I believe it's the work which can become the foundation of your, uh, I would say, of your second ego, second, uh, perhaps I would say literature ego. Who knows? I'm not going to say that you will become great authors, but who knows? Maybe you will. What I want to say is that my point is that um, if you somewhere deep inside want to impress the world with your writing skills, with your ability of accumulating what you see around and express it as a feedback through words into lines, uh, being uh, so interesting and so important for others. This course is for you, that's for sure. Well, under my supervision, you will be um, I would say you will be asked to, for example, to choose the right title of a short passage. It can be a paragraph even, or even something longer, which is to be read. Also, I will ask you to write short plots or screenplays, or to develop or work out a dialogue or a monologue of the main character, which is um, which exists only somewhere deep in your mind. Who knows? You don't know what exactly I will ask you to do. And to be good at writing, you should definitely be talented. So I keep to the position that everybody is talented, but there are different types of talents, and somebody can be good at playing tennis, right? Somebody can be good at chemistry. Somebody can be good at speaking other languages, foreign languages. What I want to say is that um, they can pick up foreign languages quite easily in comparison with others. Well, others can be good at jumping maybe, or slipping soundly. Who knows? There are no people who are deprived of any talent. So, but I want you to um, accumulate your writing skills, accumulate and develop them. For that purpose, you have come to me, and we will start working hard. And to be good at doing these activities, you will have to, as one of my students said yesterday, reanimate uh, their knowledge of English grammar, uh, Of course, you will have to brush up on what you have learned. I mean, the tenses, the aspects, the voices, subjunctive mood constructions. I want to say that you must be able to paraphrase a sentence through other words and through other grammatical structures as well. And also, you will have to feel somewhere deep inside with the help of your heart and mind is put together um, some word combination which will be a great success, which will make you stand out against other colleagues of yours. It can be compared with kind of contest, okay, where everybody is good, but we need to find the best, the best. And today I have had a very nice conversation with another student of mine. She asked me, okay, what is the final prize? You will be rewarded, that's for sure. And the final prize, as I said, might kiss upon a particular part of your mm, body. Well, it's a joke, of course. Well, anyway, um, please feel free to work hard because you know that I work and cooperate only with those who are not lazy bones. And you will have to read a lot. Read a lot in order to write, because reading is the input and writing is the output. Well, and also I will ask you um, to discuss uh, your work with the rest of the group. Okay, discuss positively, drawing the author's attention to some weak and good points of the work. Okay, so that finally the author ends up with something better. Well, of course, I will be participating in such discussion things because it's very important for me as well. And I will be writing the same things as you are supposed to write. Don't worry about that. Throughout the class, I will be doing the same things. Well, also, I will ask you to appraise your rivals' work, but nobody nobody will know what grade you have put, and I will only ask you to explain to the rest of the group what makes you think this or another way about the quality of the writing. Also, I want to say that um, you will be assigned to do much homework to do, mainly writing, but it doesn't exclude speaking. But the proportion of speaking is inferior to that of writing, because the foundation of our course is writing. I guess it's natural and comprehensible to all of us. Well, and we can start right now because uh, if I remember rightly, yesterday or today in the morning. Okay, yeah, I guess it was yesterday. I asked you to do some tests, right? Some initial English grammar tests in order to say hello to your to English, active English knowledge, okay? Because no knowledge, no further success in writing. Well, and I have um, I have worked out 13 questions, right? Well, the assignment was the following. So you were supposed to match a Russian sentence with the correct translation. Um, well, I just want to say that in some situations, some options wasn't to be chosen because of not grammatical problems. In grammatical terms, everything was fine, but in terms of stylistics is another essential moment in writing. You understand this? What is appropriate in speaking cannot be the same in writing and vice versa. Well, let's go through the questions, okay? I have prepared the questions here. Hold on a second, please. Yeah, here they are. Yeah, the first sentence, придя домой, она сделала домашнюю работу. And there are two options to choose from. On coming home, she did her homework. Coming home, she did her homework. After she had come home, she did her homework. And when she came home, she did her homework. Yeah, some of you, I saw your dialogue in the chat room, and you were exchanging your ideas concerning each of the options, which they believed, which you believed should be chosen as the right versions. Well, let's go one by one, okay? So on coming home, she did her homework. First of all, I want to say that this is the correct answer because this sentence can be used as the translation of the Russian sentence. Why? First of all, coming on coming means an action which happens uh, before another action, prior to another action mentioned further. Well, that's why we can use it. On coming home, she did her homework. That's okay. We use a gerund after the preposition on. And to Albina's question, I want to say that, yes, indeed, we can use the on plus gerund construction, and it is widely used. Not in speaking terms, but in writing, it's okay. Then, coming home, she did her homework. It is another correct sentence. Что сделала? Coming home, we use the present, I'm sorry, the possible one, construction, which answers the question, not only the question что делала я, but что сделала, coming home. Then the third is also correct. We've got two actions expressed through two different verbs, come and do, yeah, coming and doing, both in the past, but we understand that the two didn't occur simultaneously. Which occurred first, coming, and then only doing. That's why we use the past perfect tense for the verb come. So after she had come home, she did her homework. As for the fourth, Elvina was in doubt whether it was incorrect. She believed that it was correct as well. Well, actually, in speaking, yes, but and she refer to that part of grammar which says that whenever we talk about a series of past actions which happened one by one in turn, so we use the past simple tense. Yeah, that's correct, but not in this case. Not in this case. Though in speaking, yeah, it can be said like this. Let's proceed to the second one. Она смотрела на город, который уничтожали вражеские танки. So, we understand that it was happening in at a particular moment within a particular period of time in the past. That's why the continuous aspect is playing in the sentence. And there are only two constructions with the aspect included into them. It's the second, to look down at this town being destroyed by the enemy tanks. It's the passive voice, progressive participle construction, and the I guess that's the only one. Yeah. So she looked at, if I remember rightly, there was the fourth one. She looked down at the town which was being destroyed by the enemy tanks. It's also correct, but for some stupid reason, I didn't include this option into the list of the options. I'm sorry about that. Okay, at least among the three ones, the only correct one is the second, the town being destroyed by the enemy tanks. Okay, let's take a look at the third. Глядя в его глаза, она поняла, что на самом деле никогда не знала его по-настоящему. Okay, что делала я глядя? It's possible one. That's why looking into his eyes is okay. Она поняла, что на самом деле никогда не знала его по-настоящему. That means that we've got two actions expressed through two verbs, поняла, не знала, both in the past. But we understand naturally that she didn't know him before she came to realize that point. And again, the past perfect tense uh, pops up, shows up. That means that the last sentence is okay. Looking into his eyes, she understood she had never known him properly. However, we can use the second as well. We can neutralize the past perfect aspect with the help of the construction to be aware or to be unaware of. And in this case, the second sentence is okay too. Looking into his eyes, he suddenly came to realize she was unaware of his personality. It's a kind of paraphrase. It's a slight paraphrase of the Russian sentence. As for the first one, it contains a grammatical mistake, never knew. Knew and came, that means that the two actions occur simultaneously, but they didn't. That's why in this case, the right options are the second and the third. Let's take a look at the fourth sentence. Ни он, ни кто другой из его компании не имели представления, куда она убежала. Whenever we've got the construction ни он, никто другой, ни никто. So we are supposed to use the construction neither nor, but this construction implies some kind of negativism, right? Which means that we cannot use any other negative structure. But the second option contains it. No. In other words, we can see a double negative construction, neither no on the one hand and no on the other hand. That's why we should exclude the second one. It's incorrect. Let's take a look at the first. Not him, no one of his friends knew where she had escaped. In spoken English, it may make sense. At least it is comprehensible, but stylistically it's not good. As for the third, it's okay. None of his friends, including himself, was aware of his whereabouts. I'm sorry, her whereabouts. So the correct option to be chosen is the third one. Let's take a look at the thief. Я жалею, что однажды позволил себе пожалеть ее. I would like to draw attention at the last option. I regret having been understanding towards her. Well, first of all, whenever we use we can use the verb regret, and if we refer to a particular moment in the past, we are supposed to use a gerund. This is what we do in this sentence. Regret having been blah, blah, blah. And why did I choose the perfect gerund? Because I'm talking about the past thing. However, in modern English, we can say, I regret being understanding towards her once. However, strictly speaking, if we talk about or if we refer to a particular past moment, we are supposed to use the perfect aspect, and that changes the general gerund or just ordinary gerund into its perfect option. And finally, we've got what we've got. I regret having been understanding towards her. The word understanding, it's neither a possible one nor a gerund, by the way. It's an adjective. And if we translate the word understanding into Russian, it will be like this. Понимающий. It's a kind of paraphrase of the Russian sentence. Let's come back to the first one. I'm sorry that once I allowed myself to feel sorry for her. It is okay. I cannot see any problems about this translation of the Russian sentence. Allowed myself to feel sorry for her. I just want you to understand that after the construction, after the collocation feel sorry, we normally use the preposition for, feel sorry for somebody. The second sentence, I wish. We remember that I wish construction is a very tricky because it has got a lot of constraints. right? Limitations we should bear in mind when we're going to deal with it. Well, first of all, we can't use any present, not to say future tenses in the I wish construction, and we don't have any. We got the past perfect tense because we refer to the past, and we've got the past perfect tense hadn't allowed, and everything seems to be fine. Instead of to her, we can use towards her. That's okay. As for the third, it's not that good, though. In spoken uh, uh, version, the spoken version is okay, but stylistically, it's too primitive. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. Когда работа была выполнена, все вздохнули с облегчением. Well, again, I would like to start from the second one. On completing the work, all of us breathed with relief. Again, the on plus gerund construction is used because in the beginning we complete doing something and then we do something else. That's why we can use this construction. It's okay. Well, the third, when the work had been done through, all of us had a sigh of relief. Again, two actions, doing or being done in this case, and having a sigh of relief. Two actions, both in the past, but they didn't occur simultaneously. Firstly, the work was completed and then only we did something else. That's why we use the past perfect tense for the word done, for the word do, but we understand it should be the passive voice construction, right? Because work cannot do itself, I'm sorry. So I mean to say that the third option is correct too. The fourth, once the work was through, we sighed with relief. It's okay. We can use the construction to be through. That means finish. Something was over. Once the work was through, we sighed with relief. It's okay. As for the first, it is grammatically absolutely incorrect because we can't even translate it into any other language. Having been completed the work, that means that it should be all of us. I'm sorry, the F letter is missing. Yeah, it should be like this. Grammatically, it is incorrect because the passive construction is misused. It should be like this. It should be amended this way. Having completed the work, all of us signed with relief. Let's take a look at the seventh. Oh, it's longer. Oh. What's wrong about the word? Yeah, I'm sorry, it's not double S. Она могла бы стать прекрасной актрисой, выступающей на лучших сценах Европы, но из-за любви она не реализовалась. Well, who is the author of these old sentences? I wonder. I guess it was the author is one of you. It's very likely that it is Albina. Right, Albina, was it you to think up such sentences? Okay, so могла бы быть, но не стала. That's definitely it's a reference to the would plus perfect infinitive construction, right? And we've got some. She might have become a prominent actress, appearing on the best European stages, but because of her sex addiction, she failed to realize her potential entirely. Yes, this sentence completely expresses the idea shown in the initial sentence, in the Russian sentence. Might have become is that part of the sentence which expresses могла бы, но не стала. Okay, the second. But for her addiction to, she might have been a superstar playing on the best stages over Europe. Again, might have been. It's okay. And but for. Unfortunately, not, I would say, unfortunately, uh, inexperienced speakers, not native ones, don't like to use this construction but for, though it's very dramatic and it's very strong. But for is translated into Russian as если бы не. Okay, so it is correct as well. Number three, if she hadn't been addicted to something that much, she could have gotten worldwide fame as an actress in European theaters. Again, is the third conditional structure. Today, in today's discussion with Albina, she said that it was the second. No, Albina, it's not the second, it's the third if sentence, if type sentence. Well, again, we normally use the past perfect tense after if, and again, could or might or whatever, with the perfect infinitive, have gotten. As for the last, she could become a prominent. She could become means that she became, finally. She tried very hard and her attempts weren't futile. That means that she had a positive result, but it contradicts the main idea in the Russian sentence. That's why the last sentence cannot be chosen as the right answer. Okay, well, let's proceed to the next one. Как бы я ни старался рассмешить ее в детстве, она всегда оставалась угрюмой. It's a very, very difficult sentence to deal with. The thing is that non-native speakers are afraid of using the verb would. Yes, they know that we use would when will turns into this form. If the opening verb is in the past, for example, she said that she would come or wouldn't come. Also, we use would in the if sentences, the second and the third if sentences. Yes, and that's all. Oh, also, some of you may know that we use would instead of the construction used to. So in the past, I would do that quite often, we can say. When I was a small boy, I would often go to the cinema with my father, not with my mother, for example. It's okay. And this is the limit. However, native speakers use the verb would much more frequently. And I just want to give you a hint when exactly, when else they can use the would, the verb would. Well, if you want to say that something didn't want to occur, didn't want to work, didn't want to start working or start functioning properly as you wanted it to so in this case, we can use would. For example, today in the morning when I was trying to drive my car, it stopped and the engine wouldn't be working. You see, wouldn't be working. That means that you wanted it to work. You wanted it to be working properly, but let's pretend that we're talking about the engine as if it were something living. So it it didn't want to, and in this case, we can say, oh, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't start. We can say, yeah, the engine wouldn't start. In other words, it didn't want to work. But we don't say it didn't want to work. We say it wouldn't start, and we can apply this um, here in this sentence. She wouldn't smile. That means she didn't want to smile in the past, by the way. That's why the second sentence is okay. No matter how much I tried to make her smile when she was a child, she wouldn't smile. She didn't want to. In her childhood, regardless of my attempts to make her smile, she would remain gloomy. It means that she didn't want to become open to the world. She didn't want to be full of happiness. Okay. And as for the first one, everything seems to be all right, but that past simple form, the remain gloomy, means that we're talking about an event which occurred only once in the past. Okay, a couple of times, but not on a regular basis. In this case, it makes the first sentence as incorrect to be chosen the right answer to the to the Russian sentence. Okay, now let's take a look at the ninth. Я предложил, чтобы они выехали в горы как можно раньше. Oh, you wrote, you wrote so much about this particular sentence, and all of you were right, but you couldn't understand one plain thing about the test, that you could have chosen more than one right answers. Albina was the first to understand that, to gather the idea. Only after I told her that she should understand the trend of the test, could she come to the right conclusion. Okay. Suggest to never ever, please, never ever use an infinitive after the verb suggest, because normally we use a gerund after the verb suggest. That's why the option I suggested they're going to the mountains as soon as possible is all right. That is the correct one. And I remember Nadine writing that they're going is incorrect. Nadine, why? Going is a gerund because of the verb suggest. Yes, we know that suggest is usually followed by the gerund by a gerund. In this case, the gerund is going. But they're going means that it's only a simple gerund. It's so-called gerundial complex, because someone who does an action expressed through the verb is not the same who does an action expressed through the gerund. For that reason, we are supposed to use some pronouns, possessive pronouns. For example, oh, I suggest her coming here tonight. But in spoken language, we can say, I suggest her, okay, I suggest he's coming here tonight. Yeah, but in spoken language, you can hear even native speakers say like this, oh, I suggest him coming here tonight. It's okay, but not in writing. Also, what I say that we can use suggest in the subjunctive mood way. In this case, we use only infinitive. For example, I suggest that you stop smoking. That means that I ask you to stop smoking. And in this case, the second is okay. I suggest that they set off for the mountains as soon as possible. Then we can't use ought to as the modal verb in this construction, because again, I want to say the suggest in this case is used as the subjunctive mood construction. Well, and no modal verbs are normally used in this case. Again, I suggest them to go. Again, we don't use infinitive. That's why we exclude the last option. We never say I suggested to them. In this case, it is the inappropriate use of the part of the preposition to. For example, it's just the same as you said. Oh, give to me the pen, please. It's incorrect. We say give it to me, give the pen to me, or give me the pen. But we never say give to me the pen. It's excluded. And also we can use the verb offer. And we, in this case, we should use the infinitive. That's why the construction, I'm sorry, the sentence, I offered them to go to the mountains ASAP is okay. So let's proceed to sentence number 10. Sentence number 10. Oh, it's another super duper sentence. Мне следовало проверить показания того прибора в ночную смену. Что же мне теперь делать? Yeah, I just talked to Albina discussing some of the options, some of the questions of the test. And she asked me, in this case, when we're supposed to translate the Russian expression "что же мне теперь делать," where we normally use the "what shall I do" expression. Yes, Albina, you are dead right saying that. For that reason, we should exclude the second option because it contains "what should I do." The third one as well because it includes "what will I do now," and the next one because the ending is "what am I supposed to do now?" Though grammatically it's correct and even partially stylistically it's okay, but not in this case. Normally we say "what shall I do now?" And how many shall I do we have now? The first one and the last one, right? OMG, it stands for "oh my God, that's terrible. I should have looked through the readings of the instrument. What shall I do now?" By the way, it's a good life hack for those of you who want to pick up speaking as well, uh, along with the writing skills. So you should read aloud, uh, making some correct intonation depending on what you're reading. Yeah, just like, acting is kind of acting, right? That makes you closer to the cultural domain of the language a part of the text is written in. Oh my God, it's terrible. I should have looked through the readings of the instrument. What shall I do now? As for the first one, I should have checked the readings of the instrument in the night shift, I'm sorry. What shall I do now? Yeah, it's okay too. So in this case, we've got only two correct options to choose. The first and the last one. Let's proceed to the next one. Он все пытался спросить меня, когда я влюбилась в него, но я была не в настроении отвечать на его глупые вопросы. Вопросы Клары. Okay. He tried to ask me when I fell in love. The first sentence should be excluded as the right option because of the tense sequence inconsistency. Because trying and falling in love occurred not simultaneously, but something occurred earlier than the other, and we don't see any past perfect tense in the first sentence. I guess you know what I'm driving at, what I mean to say by this. The second one, he was persistent in knowing when I had fallen in love with him. Okay, everything's fine here. He was persistent in doing something. It's a good paraphrase of the Russian "он был настойчив, чтобы что-то сделать," right? Had fallen, correct, because it occurred before he was persistent. I didn't feel like, я была не в настроении. Exactly, feel like doing something. Например, я сегодня не в настроении, чтобы идти в киношку. Frankly speaking, I don't feel like going to the cinema tonight. I hope you understand me. And feel like is usually followed by a gerund. That's why the second sentence is okay. The next one. He wanted to ask me when I had started to love him, but I wasn't in the mood to let on the secret. It's a more primitive sentence than the previous one, but grammatically it's all right. We've got the past perfect tense, and also we've got the word collocation "in the mood to do something." Let on the secret. That means that that shows that it was her private. It was too private for her to let somebody else, including him, to know about that. The fourth, he was attempting to find out when I was in love with him. Was attempting to is okay because he was firing at her with the questions, right? Oh, come on, please tell me when. It's important to me to know. It implies the use of the continuous aspect, yes? But was in love with him. Oh, Yes, I guess we should know. Again, we should think over. Uh-huh. Yeah. Only two correct. Only two are correct. The ones I have mentioned, because this one is wasn't love. Because of this, it should be again the past perfect tense. So, number 12. Кто бы мог подумать, что они станут такими первоклассными идиотами? Это очередное предложение Альбины. Только она такие предложения может сочинять. Я так полагаю. Поехали. Who would have thought that they would become such super duper idiots? Кто бы мог подумать? Yeah, in the beginning, it was nearly unlikely to expect it to happen. That's why we use the perfect infinitive after the verb would. Everything's fine, and would become means will become. But because the first verb is in the past, will turns into would. So the first sentence is okay. Nobody could guess that they will become such idiots. We can't use it because of the verb will. The first verb is could. The third, it was almost impossible to assume that they finally would be such amazing idiots. Everything is fine about this sentence. It was impossible to assume that finally. Yes, would and such amazing idiots. Pyroclastic and amazing. Oh, yeah, we can. Why not? Uh, I'm just looking at my options. Right. Only two. And the last sentence. Я так счастлив, что я достал билеты на гастроли итальянской опера. I want to say that either of the three options is correct. I'm so happy to do something. And if we talk about something which occurred in the past, we can use the perfect infinitive to have got tickets. I'm so happy that I've got tickets also is also correct. I'm so happy that you love me. I'm on top of the world. That's the paraphrase of being happy, right? I've managed to get. It's a paraphrase of dostal bileti. Everything's fine about this. Thank you very much. Thank you. And now, I just want to assign you your first real homework. Okay, listen carefully. What are you supposed to do? It's a piece of writing homework. A piece of writing. It's not a secret, or we can say I wouldn't open America, discover America, saying that these days, European countries are going through a bad patch, right? Which means that they are having some troubles with energy, with other nice things related to gas supply, electricity in their homes, etc. Right? And in this case, they seem to face up against a dilemma, right? Either electricity or uh, good food. I just want you to express the whole situation through only one collocation, which can be chosen as the title for an analytical article, which is to be published, for example, in the Economist magazine. Well, this is the first assignment you're supposed to do. Again, I just want to repeat it. Listen carefully. These days, European people are going through a bad patch. That means that having they are having sordid days, not funny days, right? Because of because of the shortage in gas and electricity, because of the shock price, policy their national governments are implementing. Well, in this case, they've got a kind of dilemma whether electricity in their homes or more or less adequate food on their tables. And the article, which is supposed to be um, published in The Economist, contains some critical and analytical and an analyze analyzing material related to the situation. Okay, and you are asked to work out the title which will be very, I would say, provocative and provocative and um, provocative on the one hand and expressing the pain of the people on the other hand. So this is your homework. It's not easy to do, believe me, because the shorter the writing, the harder it is to be made, that's for sure. Thank you very much for your attention, guys. I hope that you have taken a liking to the course. Bye bye.